Very welcome back to the show. Today we are helping you improve your home and health through gardening, as Peter Dowdall joins us now to share his top gardening tips and tell us all about a new campaign from GroMór. Peter, great to have you on the show.
Yes, Donny, how are you?
Who and what are GroMór?
Well, GroMór, it's a great campaign. It's a combination between Retail Excellence Ireland and Board BIA, and then the growers and garden centres throughout the country. But the aim of it is to get people back into the garden and get them to call to their local garden centre and to see all the benefits that there are to be had from gardening. To that end, they're doing things like they'll be hosting 60 demonstrations around the country. Myself, among 4 other ambassadors, will be in different garden centres around Ireland, where we'll be answering people's questions and giving demonstrations about how easy it is and espousing, if you like, the principles of the GroMór campaign.
Yeah, basically, get out of the house and go out into your garden and enjoy the whole garden.
Exactly,
well.
and don't be scared of it. Gardening is not rocket science. It's the most basic thing you can do, and it's great fun, it's therapy, it's enjoyable, it's everything. And just don't be scared of it. And if you don't know the answer to something and you're put off by it, call to the garden centre, call to your local garden centre. They'll be only too happy to give you answers.
There's also a website with this, Peter, isn't
there? There is
GroMór.
GroMór.ie, fabulous website, very informative, gardening articles, tips. A lot of questions that you may have and you think, oh, they're very basic. They'll be answered on the website.
They will. And Dermot Gavin, I believe, is one of the main ambassadors.
Dermot is an ambassador as well, yeah. There's 5 or 6 of us, I think.
Yeah. Now, so today we're talking about 4 pillars, or I suppose 4 benefits of gardening.
Yes, well, there's 4 precepts, if you like, to the campaign. The first one being health and well-being, right? Then the second, we're looking at interior and exterior display. And then thirdly, we're looking at, it's a great way to get the whole family involved in the garden. So it's a family pursuit. And then lastly, we're looking at the lifestyle benefits of gardening.
Haven.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to go out. Forget about all of your troubles and head out to the garden.
Isn't it true, though? It is. It's such an easy place to forget about things.
We'll start with the health and welfare.
Well, with health and well-being, I mean, I could spend the whole day talking about just that, Daithi, but I won't, obviously, because the time is of the essence. But one of the great things about gardening is that you can grow your own food so easily and so simply. It's very, very straightforward. As I say, gardening is one of the most basic things we can do. You put a plant in the ground, it's going to grow. That's rosemary, for example. And if you look at, you're going to pick a plant like this up for cheapest chips in your local garden centre, and you compare it to how much you're going to spend in a supermarket buying a few sprigs, you know, every week.
So if you plant this today, how big will it get, say, in 2 or 3 weeks' time?
Well, in 2 or 3 weeks' time, it might come to twice the size, because growth is only just starting now. But by the end of the season, depending on how much roast lamb you're cooking, how much you're harvesting, but by the end of the season, that'll be a decent enough sized plant. But rosemary is an evergreen shrub, so it's going to get bigger and bigger each year. Now, most herbs, and rosemary is no exception, is a Mediterranean. They're native to the Mediterranean, so bear that in mind. They have no problem with our they've no problem with our cold, but they have a problem with our rain. Okay, they don't get anything like it where they're native to. So give them a good sunny position in a very well-drained soil. Well-drained is a key. Don't have them in a boggy soil, okay?
What about something like blueberries?
Blueberries with the superfruit, isn't it? I mean, when you look at how many you'll buy in a plastic container in the supermarket and put in the plant. And the blueberries are something you can grow in a pot. You can grow on the open ground. Even if you never ate blueberries, now I love them, but even if you never ate them, it's a very ornamental plant in its own right. It grows very, very easily. Again, you put it in the ground, likes a slightly acid soil. I don't want to spend too much time on anything like that. Ask again in your garden centre. They'll tell you how to grow them. But yes, you can grow blueberries very easily at home. You've also got gooseberries, rhubarb, red currants. There's a huge amount of fruit you can grow at home.
My rhubarb has started to grow in the last week or so. It's brilliant to see it coming. I can see a lovely pie coming.
I can't wait for the invite to dinner.
And the dessert. We'll go straight to dessert.
Straight to dessert.
We'll talk about interior and exterior decor then as well.
Yes. Well, if you know, there's no reason you can't bring the garden inside, right? And don't be put off. Don't be scared that, oh, it's going to cost an arm and a leg. It's not. Go and get yourself a small little house plant. May that be, if it's a new house, may that be the first step into this wonderful world of gardening. So get yourself a lovely little house plant. This is a stephanotis. You have orchids.
Can I just see this here now as well? Because you're training the flower to act in a certain way here, because these are metal rods, if you like, and these are clips to hold it all together. So you're telling the flower to
correct. And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you get it to do what it wants? What you want, rather. You can train those stems to grow in any way you want. They're little baby hair clips, nearly, aren't they?
I think they are.
They're not. They're actually grown particularly for this. But you can bend them any way you want. So you can have a bit of fun. Don't be scared. You can see there that it's dripping water. That's because the best way, and this is one of the things that the mistakes that people make with houseplants, to water them too much from above. Don't. Water them from beneath.
Always.
Stand them in that for about half an hour. let them take up whatever water they need, then throw out the excess water.
Okay.
After that, provided you have them in the right position in the house.
Is that every day or every second day?
Oh God, no, once a week.
Once a week.
Yeah, once a week.
Now these are for the outside. There's some beautiful colours, Peter.
They're the little dwarf phlox. They are stunning, pink flowers. Again, just into a pot outside. So you're brightening up the front of the house. Again, if you don't want to spend an arm and a leg landscaping the house, just start off with a few small plants. They'll brighten up your front door. As you get more and more into this gardening bug, and I'm sure you will.
Because it's very addictive.
Isn't it? I mean,
very addictive.
Yeah, it is.
It's time-consuming, but it's just time well spent, I feel.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
Really
and that's
is.
all that it is. It is time-consuming. But what better thing could you be doing with your time? And also it brings us nicely on to the third pillar of the campaign, which is it's time to spend with the family.
Well, see, this is where I came in. I have a 3-year-old at home now in my hall, right, and he saw this in Curious George, right. So everything in our house goes back to Curious George, and he got the carpet and he was putting.
Be honest now, Daithi, was it you or him watching Curious George?
But he was trying to put holes like that in the carpet, and he was putting seeds in there. But it's fantastic.
Isn't it brilliant?
It is absolutely brilliant.
But you know, I teach gardening to kids often during the summer holidays and things like that, and they have this. We all did as kids this innate understanding of how to do it. You put your finger in the soil, you put in the seed,
just
and
like Curious George.
That's going to stick now, isn't it?
I'm afraid it is. I think your Curious George days are gone for a while. I think.
Well, we watch Curious George at home. So I just have some sweet pea here, Daithi, right? Now this could be anything. Into the holes.
I think the question people will be asking at home is, you plant that now. How long before you see some results?
Well, with these sweet pea that I'm actually growing, you could actually have done this last autumn. And if you did it even just a few weeks ago, they'd be up that high by now. There's 5 or 6 seedlings in that pot already. Okay. But again, in the garden centres, you can either get the seed, the plants, in a few weeks' time, you'll get them in flower. You can get them.
I think it's always nice to start with the seed.
Oh, I think it's real gardening.
Start from the beginning, and you can step through the whole thing then.
Absolutely.
Particularly with children.
And you really do see how straightforward and easy it is. And the other thing I wanted to say to you is, I'm spilling the seeds here now, but we'll use them again. I have some
sweet
lettuce
peas here during the winter.
They'll be growing up. We have lettuce. Like if you planted lettuce in the seed tray now, there's no reason you couldn't. You'd be harvesting. Like they'd be up to that in 2 or 3 weeks. You'll be harvesting. You go from seed to your plate in about 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
Really very quick. You know.
Perfect. Now again, we spoke about the garden being a haven, and we're outside again. And if you don't have a whole pile of space, these things are very, very handy.
I think they're great,
These aren't an old pair of Wellingtons, by the way.
No, even if they were, if you have an old pair of wellies, a real pair of wellies, use your imagination. Anything that's going to hold some soil, you can use as a container. It doesn't have to be a round or a square pot. But as you say, even if you're caught for space, if you just live in an apartment, and so many of us do nowadays in Ireland, if you just have a little balcony, there's nothing to say.
You can create your own lifestyle, whether you have an apartment or a big house.
Correct, correct. The principles will all be the same, do you know? It's just obviously the scale of it will be different. Now, this is a plant called Aquilegia that I'm using, or Granny's Bonnet, or Columbine.
Granny's Bonnet,
Isn't it lovely, though? Granny's Bonnet.
It's beautiful.
I got the gardening bug when I was really the same age as Mihal, your young fella is now.
I thought you were going to say me.
No. I have it a bit longer than that. But it grew with me, if you like. Most kids grow out of it. For me, it got stronger. And this is one of the first plants that I ever fell in love with. And it's just such a lovely, lovely plant.
Did you hear the birds there a while ago as well? Somebody just said in my ear that they were playing birds, so it wasn't my own imagination. Did you hear them?
I didn't. I heard You Are So Beautiful or something.
That's what we were playing before you came. Peter, thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks, Dai. A pleasure as always.
Now, for more information on all we have seen and discussed here, you can head over to gromor.ie. And if you want to find out more about the campaign, it is all on our Facebook page.